What's going on, everybody? I'm Adam Avin, and welcome to my new podcast, Make Your Point on Miami. Here is where I'm going to talk, laugh, and rant a lot about our Florida sports team specifically. The Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, maybe throw some UF college football in there. Basically, my favorite teams that I can't extremely focus on in our real show because you guys know we always have a lot to talk about. So this is a good space for us to talk on what's going on in the world of our hometown teams. If this is your first time clicking on the Make Your Point YouTube channel or whatever platform you're listening to this episode on, welcome. If you don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about what we do here and how we started Make Your Point in the first place. I've always been a huge sports fan and I love to talk about it and give my opinions. So my friends and I decided to show our discussions and arguments on the public domain for everyone to see. Because who doesn't want to hear a bunch of high schoolers give their opinions, right? I host Make Your Point with a varsity water polo goalie, one of my best friends, Zach Roisman, who jumped on the project since the very beginning. If you watch our show, you know Zach and I love to bring on our friends as guests. Recurring analysts on the show, our JV quarterback, Kenan O'Malley, who will actually be joining us on the show later. Rec League Hall of Famers and brothers, Jake and Jagger Lagori. Varsity water polo star, Jesse Staple. Varsity volleyball star, Dathan Reed. And back-to-back fantasy football champion, Colby Dernis. Every single one of them will be on this podcast at some point, including Zach. But right now, it's just me to start off the show on our introductory episode because I have a lot to say about the Heat's current NBA Finals run. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So as you guys know, the Miami Heat, my hometown team, my favorite basketball team, have made it back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2014. Since one of the greatest who ever did it, Mr. LeBron James, left the Miami Heat and is now on the Los Angeles Lakers, who we are facing in the NBA Finals. And everyone knew that the Heat could beat everyone in the East. They beat the Bucks, they beat the Celtics. The Heat are made for this bubble environment. But this Lakers team is tough. And let me tell you about it. If you've been keeping up with our current Make Your Points, we haven't actually gotten the chance to talk about the Heat vs. Lakers NBA Finals series yet. But that's why I'm here right now. And on the next Make Your Point, you will definitely hear about it. But I've had a lot of issues with how the Heat have played in these first two games. Let me start off with game one. In game one, we came out strong, had an early lead, up 13 points, looked very good. But as the game went on, as Kentavious Caldwell-Pope hit 2 3-pointers to shorten the lead to very small points, and then Alex Caruso hit a 3-pointer to take the lead, ending the first quarter, it was trouble from right then and there. The Los Angeles Lakers went on a huge run, eventually outscoring the Heat in two quarters, something like 75-31. It was just insane. The Heat were getting demolished. The reason they were getting beaten so badly was because of the rotation. Eric Spoelstra in the first 3 rounds made adjustments, fixed the lineup, went big, went small, told them to slow down the offense, fast-paced offense, have those pick-and-roll handoffs with Duncan or Tyler or Dragic. Bam would roll to the basket, get the alley-oop. He made adjustments depending on the team that we were playing. The Heat are a naturally small team, and against the Celtics, you saw it. When they would put in Enes Kanter and we just get destroyed. When Giannis breaks free, there's no stopping him. The Heat aren't big enough to match up with any taller players. And that's the exact issue that the Heat have had in the first 2 games of the NBA Finals against a tall and big Lakers team. The Lakers play Dwight Howard, who's 6'11", Anthony Davis, who's 6'11", 7 feet, LeBron James, who's 6'9", and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Danny Green, who are around 6'7" and 6'8". Danny Green's the shortest player on the court. The Heat start 4 players under 6'8". Bam Adebayo is the only player who's tall enough to even jump up to Anthony Davis. He's 6'9", 6'10", right? So obviously the Heat had a huge issue. And naturally, you assume that the Miami Heat are just going to be able to match up with them. I did. I was one of those people. I said the Heat could beat the Lakers. Honestly, being down 2-0 right now, I truly believe that the Miami Heat can still beat the Los Angeles Lakers. They are the team to do so, especially in the crazy world that we live in right now. Trust me. But in game one, no adjustments were made. Solomon Hill played 20+ minutes. At one point, Andre Iguodala was the tallest player on the floor on the same court that LeBron James, Dwight Howard, and Anthony Davis were all standing on. And in no world against that team in the NBA Finals is Solomon Hill and that lineup allowed to play on the court together. Then we go to game two after an awful loss in game one. Just flat out embarrassing. You assume Spoelstra is going to make adjustments. They announced the starting lineup. They announced that Myers Leonard's going to be in the starting lineup, 7 feet tall, matching up with Dwight Howard down in the post. Obviously, Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic aren't playing this game. Goran Dragic is one of the most underrated players in the NBA, and I will say it until the day I die. Goran Dragic has led this Miami Heat team for the past 5 years, basically. It's just been absolutely unbelievable, and he goes out with a foot injury, projected to be out the rest of the series. Bam Adebayo has a shoulder injury. He was listed as doubtful for game two. Didn't end up playing, and we don't know if he's going to play for game three yet. But he just not having those two players is just so hard because they are two core pieces of the offense. But game two comes around. They announce Myers Leonard's going to be in the starting lineup. That's good. He's 7 feet tall. He can match up with Dwight Howard. He hit a three early in the game. But you still have Jay Crowder, who's 6'6", 6'7", guarding Anthony Davis. That's not good. Jimmy Butler's guarding LeBron. He secured him for a while at the beginning. Tyler Hero on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Okay. Duncan Robinson on Danny Green. Okay. Danny Green actually went down with an injury in the first quarter of that game, game two. And the Miami Heat were playing great. Honestly, I thought they were playing 10 times better than game one. And the first quarter, we weren't up by 13. We never led by 13. In fact, the Heat didn't have one lead that whole game. But they played better. The Heat played absolutely better. They showed heart. Kendrick Nunn was our best player on the floor. And he's been benched this whole time in the bubble. Guaranteed, he can't make a corner three for the life of him unless he is the most wide open player in the world, but he was our best player and he packed Anthony Davis. And I don't care what anybody says, but that was the best play of the night. In the fourth quarter, getting up there and blocking him, he's 6'2". That was unbelievable by Kendrick Nunn. He was the best player on that court, right next to not Jimmy Butler, Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk made shots for us. He was big. And here's the thing with Kelly Olynyk. I've never been the biggest fan of Kelly Olynyk. I don't like the way that he plays all the time. When he gets hot, he thinks he can make everything and start shooting 30-footers. And he did that in game two. And let me tell you, when you're down by 8 in the third quarter of an NBA Finals game, and the best shot you're taking is Kelly Olynyk taking a 35-footer because he just got hot and has been making shots, like, are you kidding? He needs some restrictions, Spoelstra. Let's be honest. I don't always like the way he plays, but Kelly Olynyk is one of the most quiet players in the whole league. He goes off for 25 and you don't even realize it. That's the kind of good that he is. He's the kind of good that you don't notice, the one that goes underlooked. Kind of like Goran Dragic, if I'm being honest with you, except Kelly Olynyk doesn't make even the same impact that Goran Dragic does. But with Kendrick Nunn and with Kelly Olynyk, they were able to keep us in the game. And you heard me before say, no, not Jimmy Butler. Yeah, not Jimmy Butler. You know why? Because he lost us that game. He lost us that game. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me when I say that. He almost had a triple-double. He had 22 points, I believe, on 11 assists and maybe 7 or 8 rebounds. I can't remember the exact stats. But Jimmy Butler lost us that basketball game. He is not aggressive in the fourth quarter. There were a numerous amount of times, an infinite amount of times, I can't even count, where he would drive to the basket, jump up in the air, and do a 360 in the air and pass it right outside. Instead of getting a foul, instead of trying to make a play, Yeah, one time he went up and got blocked by LeBron James, but that's LeBron James. If Jimmy Butler's afraid of driving to the hoop, that he'd have no chance of winning the series. Think about it. There in the third quarter, actually fourth quarter of game 2, the Lakers went on an 0-8 run. They missed 8 straight shots in a row. The Heat did not make one single basket in that run. In that stretch of when the Lakers were scoreless, the Heat made no effort. They didn't score. They didn't make any plays. For us to win that basketball game, if Jimmy Butler has 30, 35 compared to 22, we win the game. We win that game. And we didn't have Goran and we didn't have Bam, but playing Kelly Olynyk more minutes and playing Myers Leonard minutes, who neither of them at all played pretty much in game 1, and ended up playing in game 2 and made a huge impact without Bam and Goran, and we only lost by 10. If Jimmy Butler has 10 more points and makes an effort in the fourth quarter to give us that win, we win that game. My main points that I have with the Miami Heat at this time, if they want to come back from this 0-2 deficit in the NBA Finals, which is a tough feat to come back from, they got to play big. I don't understand. I truly don't understand why you don't put Kelly Olynyk and Bam on the floor at the same time, or Bam and Myers Leonard at the same time, or Kelly Olynyk and Myers Leonard at the same time. You see where I'm going with this? The reason I'm saying that is because at all times, most of the time, Anthony Davis is on the floor or Dwight Howard's on the floor. The only time you should play small ball where Andre Iguodala, who is great by the way, who has been great in this playoffs. But when he's the tallest player on the floor, the only time you can do that against this Lakers team is when Kyle Kuzma is the tallest player on the floor. Let's be honest. And even when Kyle Kuzma is on the floor, LeBron James is on the floor right next to him. So is it making that big of a difference? No. But you have to play big against this Lakers team. Against the Rockets, they gave up a lot of threes because no one on that team is above 6'6", except Tyson Chandler, but he doesn't play. The Lakers didn't adjust their lineup at all against the Nuggets. They played big and destroyed them. That's what they're doing to us right now. We have big guys on this team that can ball. We have dogs on this team that can ball. You hear Kendrick Perkins, those goons from Dade County. Yeah, those goons from Dade County. We got dogs down here. He knows it. D Wade knows it. Everyone in the country should know it by now. We made it to the finals. No one expected this team to make it to the finals. But Spoelstra needs to make the adjustments to play big. To win this finals, you got to play big. You got to fix the rotation. Andre Iguodala can't be the tallest player on the floor. And you got to hit your threes. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Duncan Robinson. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Tyler Hero. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder, he can't be shooting like an average shooter. Duncan Robinson, you can't be shooting like you're an average shooter. We've seen what you guys can do. You got to show up. You have to. We need everyone to step up and make an impact. Kendrick Nunn looks like his normal self. Myers Leonard, like I said, hit a 3. He played some good defense. He looked like his old self from the regular season. Kelly Olynyk just played above average the other night. But Jimmy Butler needs to show up in these finals and be aggressive and make him shots if the Heat have any chance of winning. And game 3 is going to take place tonight, Sunday, October 4th. And I'm excited to see what the Heat got. This is a crucial game. 3-0 and 2-1 is a big, big difference. But Eric Spoelstra said it.
We don't give a shit what everybody else thinks.
That's right, Spo. We don't care what anyone thinks. And I truly believe that the Miami Heat, if they win Game 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they win Game 4. I wouldn't be surprised if they win Game 5 or Game 6. Do I think they're going to do that? No. Do I think the Lakers have a better chance of winning? Yeah. But I still have a lot of hope in my Miami Heat right now. Don't doubt that. I'll leave it right there. We'll catch back up again on our Miami Heat after Game 3 and recap, because I sure as hell know I'm going to have a lot to say about the Heat if we do not perform like how I just mentioned we should. Before we go, quick shout out to my Florida Gators. Running out of time talking about them today, but 2-0 to start off their season. Kyle to Kyle connection, Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, the best tight end in football. We got a Gator secondary that is elite. The rush D needs a little bit of work. Todd Grantham, you got to fix that, defensive coordinator. But right now, we're the number 3 team in the country, and no one is stopping us. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Make Your Point on Miami. Thank you for letting me rant a little bit about the Miami Heat's play in these first 2 games, the NBA Finals. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Make Your Point. Follow our other channel, Big Cookie Entertainment, where we make short films and other movies just for fun. And make sure to tune in on our next episode of Make Your Point in Miami. I'm Adam Avin, and we'll see you next time.